Listeners, many people are quietly asking a different kind of question. Not how do I do more, but how do I live better without losing myself? Now, this year feels less about chasing and more about aligning, listeners. Less noise, more truth. And today's conversation is about what happens when inner healing finally meets outer purpose, and whether that harmony is something we create or we remember. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mindful Living Podcast. I'm your host, Sana, and today's topic sits right at the intersection of struggle and meaning. Inner healing plus outer purpose equals harmony, or at least that is what many of us hope. Our guest today has lived this question deeply. For more than 4 decades, she struggled with obsessive eating and bulimia. Her healing was not quick, it was not linear. It required walking through what she now calls the 6 elements of the harmony method: awareness, commitment, mastery, service, leadership, and freedom. And listeners, let me tell you what I appreciate about her work is that it does not sell healing as perfection. It treats harmony as something deeply human, messy, but earned and lived. She's also the author of Harmony, the Frequency of True Success, and her work today focuses on helping people understand that success does not come from striving harder, but from aligning more honestly. So, listeners, meet my incredible guest, Robin Clare. Robin, welcome to the Mindful Living, and I'm really, really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you, Sana. I appreciate you having me on. And there was something that you said that just really resonated with me. You said, is this alignment of inner purpose and excuse me, inner healing and outer purpose, is it created or something we remember? And it just really hit me because I think I love that because I believe that a lot of the stress that we're all living on and a lot of the issues that we have are lessons that our soul has asked us to learn in this lifetime so that we can experience the most growth from this incarnation into our human body. So obviously, I believe that we are a soul being having a human being experience. And when you said, is it something that we create or remember? I'm thinking, is this something that our soul wants us to remember? And is this what we're feeling when we come into this first level, the state of awareness? Is it something that our soul is asking us to become aware of for this, not just the highest, most profound level, we would say, is this what our is this something that our soul wants us to do? And I want to say to you that it's also not necessarily, oh, become a healer or a spiritual teacher. It could be create that picture you want to draw. Find, enhance your relationship with your parents. Move out of addiction into recovery like I did so that I could write these books. So if we look at my path, we would see that, yes, I had to do that, but it was all part of what my soul needed me to understand so that I could write these books and teach others. So my point there is that sometimes the soul lesson, s- you're like, okay, so what? Big deal? Or yes, oh my God, crazy big deal, right? But it comes down to understanding what's going on in your inner world so that you can live that on in your outer world.
Absolutely, absolutely, Robin. Love that. I love that beginning to this exploration of the harmony of inner healing and outer purpose. And um, yeah, to begin with, the first let's talk about your harmony method because I really find it interesting. like the last time you had explained about the five elements and then the sixth element, freedom. But let's start with the first element of your harmony method, and it is
Mm,
awareness. Now,
yes.
it 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 sounds gentle, but Robin, in reality, it can be sometimes uh, be deeply uncomfortable, because sometimes when we know that we are surrounded by, we are barraged by problems and sometimes unpredictable circumstances, we just want to sleep on, we want to kind of move away from them. What did awareness require you to admit about yourself that you had been avoiding for years?
Oh, so awareness, it is a message that you receive, and honestly, I think folks, all of us, sometimes will receive that same message multiple times. Have you ever noticed that? Where you're like, "Wow, that's just really weird. Like, why did I just hear that from 3 different people?" The same thing.
Yeah.
And so for me, in writing this book, Harmony, a really simple thing is that I had 2 people. In my work, my guidance says to me that they don't have to tell me things 3 times, they only have to tell me things twice. I'm supposed to be listening harder, because I'm representing them out in the world. And so the 2 things that I heard twice were 2 people that said to me, "When I grow up, Robin, I wanna be as peaceful and calm as you are." And I'm thinking, not only was that the same message, they said the exact same words. And so for me, that message was, what is it? Why are they telling me this? I mean, it was very complimentary, and it was really lovely to hear that. But for me, those things are never what they appear to be. They're always something that's what I call living a divinely guided life.
A quick pause for you listening listeners. If this conversation is already giving you language for what you feel inside, or if you feel it's helping you see your patterns with a little less shame, hit follow. All right, back to it.
Listening, looking, feeling, because you're paying attention to all the signs that are coming at you, all the synchronistic events, because synchronicity is different than coincidence. Synchronicity is coincidence fueled by spirit. And so if you're listening for or watching for the synchronistic events, you begin to it's a way your soul is communicating with you as to what's next. So in this regard, awareness is really about not just looking and saying, "Oh, isn't that tree beautiful?" or "Look, he's talking to me." Right? But what is he saying to you? Right? What does this conversation mean? What is this person either reflect mirroring back to you something about yourself, or is this person trying to tell you their pain so that you can respond to it in a compassionate way? So it's a different type of being aware.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I think I mean, I appreciate that you frame awareness not as self judgment but as self truth. And like many people mistake mindfulness for calmness,
Oh, yeah.
when in reality, the first stage is often discomfort. And what I realize is awareness asks us to stop negotiating with our own reality.
Right. I would agree with you. I would agree with you because, whatever the reality is, it's the first step, right? It's the first step to you knowing if you want to release, like, if your reality is filled with a lot of negativity, are you ready to surrender that negativity so that, say, I have truly had enough. I surrender. I let go, let God, so that you can then be receive the grace of healing. Like, you're not gonna receive the grace of healing if you are not surrendering the fact that you are having these experiences and you don't want them anymore. And it's not wishful thinking. It is truly surrender. I am done. I am ready to move on. And then grace will provide you with solutions, and they'll come in so many different ways. That's why you have to be aware, right? And then committed, step number 2, to healing, right? You have to really be devoted to your healing, and then you'll receive what you need or receive what you need in order to get that next
Mhm.
job. Whatever it is that you're looking for, you must first surrender the the your suffering, and then things start to change. But again, in between that surrendering your suffering and change is you're looking at what was the trauma that created my suffering in the first place and looking for a way to heal that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is very, very vital, um, especially, when I think we are trying to just react to external circumstances or external, what people are saying, and just completely
Yes.
um putting a stop to listen or to even hear what I am actually, my inner self, not my inner critique, my inner self is trying to say. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
because
that often puts like a Mhm.
I'm I'm so sorry, Sana. I was gonna respond to what you said, that what people are
Yeah.
saying to you, unless they're a professional, but what people are saying to you in your life is that they're responding to you from their suffering point, right? They're talking to you from their place of suffering many times.
Yeah.
And so you don't wanna plan your life based upon their suffering energy and suggestions, right? You want to say, what's best for me? What does my soul uh,
Yeah.
want me to do? And I always make that suggestion too, is that if you're not sure how to connect with your soul, I would recommend every day in the morning, say, write down, have a
Mhm.
journal and write down this one question: what does my soul want me to know today? And then just start writing, and you'll be surprised what comes out. 'Cause now they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, she's listening, or he's listening, let's go. Let's go." And then your body responds to your soul, because who's in charge, Sana? Your soul or your body, right?
Your soul.
Your soul, right?
Yep. 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 Totally. 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 Now let's get to commitment.
Yes.
It's your second element, and oh my goodness. Personally, I have myself. I've observed, even my loved ones, struggling with consistency because we, equate commitment with never failing. How do you define commitment in a way that allows for relapse, resistance, and real life?
Yeah, yeah. So commitment is the devotion to follow what you learned in your awareness, right? Whatever that is for you. So let's say, but in that commitment, we also are human beings. We will, in this lifetime, even though we're a soul being having a human being experience, we never get to 100% soul being because we're in a human body, right? And things, we're mind, body, spirit, and emotion. And so we have 4 places where something could go wrong within
Mhm.
ourselves. And then we have our family and friends and society and our bosses, like, in their suffering energy, right? And so
Yeah.
what we have to remember is that we are only one moment away from the next present moment. And when you try to live in the present moment and not in regret of the past or fear of the future, that's when you can connect to your soul, because that's where it lives. Your soul energy lives in the present moment. And so you need to figure out, How do I bring no matter what's going on around me and look and like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I reacted that way," because I've been teaching this for decades. It's been
Mhm.
decades, right? And yet I still find myself overreacting to things, and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. What's going on?" Right? At least I'm
Yeah.
now at a stage where I can see what I'm doing, right? I'm observing it. But I need that always says to me, I'm not in the present moment. And because in the present moment, my reaction would have been, wow, it looks like you're upset. Is there something I can do to help? Or I really am not available for you to speak to me that way. Please
Exactly.
reframe what you're saying to me in a your present moment, what is acceptable to you and what is not.
Exactly. 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 And I think it's also a very healthy way to establish a very clear, specific boundary here.
Mhm.
That
For sure.
we many times we struggle with, especially in women. Like I've personally have been facing this myself, and I've seen as well others like quite struggling. Um, Robin. Um.
One moment, please, but I wanna add to what you were saying.
Uh-huh.
Part of it also comes down to the fact is that we have to learn not to take things personally, right? When
Mm,
someone is overreacting or reacting in a negative way, it is almost always not about us.
mm,
It's really always about them. And so what I said earlier, when you say, "Wow, it looks like you're really upset. Is there something I can do to help?" I know that when I have used that in my own relationship, my
mhm.
partner is like, it he stops, but then he's like, "Yes, actually," and then he me, instead of my going back like, "Why'd you say that to me? Blah, blah, blah," right? Like, it's
Mm,
almost like recognizing that everybody has their pain points, and not to be a doormat, but to to just say, "Is there something I can do to help?" And if they just continue to berate you for some reason, then you have to, instill your boundaries.
exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you, Robin. Um, Now I want to challenge this the idea of harmony a bit, Like some
Yeah.
critics say that focusing on harmony can make people passive or less driven and more into their comfort zone. Like comfort over contribution. How do you respond to this concern?
Yeah. Yes, it's interesting that that's an objection, right, in itself, right? What did you say? Over contribution?
Comfort over contribution.
Yeah, there's nothing, comfortable about I mean, nothing truly comfortable. You're not looking, for things to be easy. You're looking to
Mm,
have ease in your life, right? And
mm,
so the difference between easy and ease, we all know what easy is, right? And that's what people may think harmony is going for a state of easy, but it's really a state of ease where you're in alignment with your inner world and your outer purpose, right? So your inner world is saying, this is who we are. This is how we're going to be in the world. This is how we are when we're healed. This is what we want to accomplish. And now we're going to go out into the world and try to accomplish that, right? To see if we can do that. So there's it's not comfort, it's alignment, right? It's freedom. It's the freedom to not struggle over what it is that I wanna do next. I know what I wanna do next, and it could be a series of small steps. It doesn't have to be a life purpose, wowie zowie, like, it can be, I want to create my next art project. And this
yeah,
is my commitment. Well, creating a art project is not easy, but if you could
mhm.
do it with ease, then you're going to be more creative.
Mm.
right? Or if you say, I really want to find a new job and you commit to doing that, then what happens when you start looking, but you're really committed to it? Guess what you start seeing? New job opportunities. If you're not committed to it, you're not going to see them.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
just, you're just going to sit there and complain that you hate your job.
Exactly. Exactly. I think it also brings in clarity and accountability to yourself and to others also, but not at the cost of your own peace and ease.
I'm here, Sana.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I lost you.
You
Okay.
did for
Uh,
maybe a sec.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so before we wrap up, Robin, you describe harmony as our original frequency, but life keeps happening. I mean, there's loss, stress, triggers. Is it realistic to believe we can return to harmony and stay there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
As long as you live in a state of awareness of
mhm.
yourself, right? In a state of commitment to yourself and an agreement that you're going to master what it is that you want to know and and share with others um and then sharing that information with others and then leading by example. All of that leads to the freedom of the alignment that we've been talking about. So I just I when I first received this information from the divine realm, I thought they were talking about the spiritual path and that was it. Like I thought it was like the 6 stages of spiritual success, right? And I'm like, "Oh, I have a book there," right? But as I've grown with this way to get yours in a state of service and you're leading by example, and who you are on the inside is who you are on the outside. And I believe that that's possible. And I know it from experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Love that. Robin, so if listeners, I'm very sure. I mean, of course, healing happens always in community. And I really appreciate that, you are there to help people out there. So if listeners they would like to connect with you, share their thoughts or opinions after this conversation, what would be the easiest way?
Yeah, so I would say go to my website, which is Harmony with Robin. Uh, is an easy way to remember. harmonywithrobin.com. And yeah, that's the best way. I'm also in social media as Robin H. Clare. And of course, my books are all on Amazon. And if you do read my book, I would love for you to review it. That would be awesome. And yeah, and to reach out to me via my website. There's a contact page that they can use.
Super, super. Listeners, what I'm gonna do is have all the links in the show notes. So just hover over to them along with this episode on your favorite podcast platform. And as we um wrap up, I want to leave all of you listeners with this reflection. Harmony is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you were before survival became your personality. Inner healing and outer purpose are not competing paths, they are partners. And when we stop striving to prove our worth and start aligning with our truth, success stops feeling heavy. It starts feeling honest. So, Robin, thank you so, so much for bringing such grounded and enriching wisdom into this space today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And to all of our listeners, may this year be less about fixing yourself and more about listening to yourself. Until next time, this is The Mindful Living. I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you.